My name is Tommy de Quesada, a proud graduate from the class of 1994. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to be your MC this evening to celebrate this wonderful inaugural Hall of Fame induction ceremony for Belen Jesuit. Please join me in welcoming the Superior of the Society of Jesus here in Miami, Father Alberto Garcia, to lead us in our invocation.
Good evening. I will never be inducted to the Hall of Fame at Belen because I was already inducted to the Hall of Fame at La Salle. I said that before Father Willie says it, because when it comes as an insult, when it comes from him. No, I am really very honored to be here. As Father Willie said in the program, he said, Belen stands on the shoulder of giants, and we are honoring tonight some of those people who really made Belen what it is today. So we ask the Lord to be present to us at this time and bless our gathering, and we pray that the Lord bless us. Father, we ask your blessing upon all the people here, on our families. Bless the food that we are about to receive and share as brothers. For this, we ask it through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Our president, Father Guillermo Garcia Tuñón from the class of 1987, will now come up to the stage to offer his words of introduction.
I'm not going to lie, I was unaware La Salle had anybody to induct into the Hall of Fame. I wasn't going to miss the opportunity, trust me. So ladies and gentlemen, as Belen marks its 60th anniversary in Miami and 168 years since its founding in 1854, we realized that it was the right time to create the Hall of Fame. This new tradition is going to highlight some extraordinary individuals who have helped shape the school into what it is today. Tonight, at this inaugural event, we will induct 20 who have left their mark on the school. Over time, the Hall of Fame will continue to grow and include many others from our community who have contributed to the formation of the young men at Belen. Now, one thing, and I'm going a little bit off script here, that I wanted to be sure to remind everyone, there are many, many people who have very powerfully impacted Belen, have helped to make it what it is today. Many of them did not attend our school, but because of their religious convictions, because of their commitment to education and to the future of our society, they impacted Belen in very profound ways, and they need to be recognized as important and integral members of the Belen Jesuit community. And many of those individuals will be recognized as the years go by. We're talking about 168 years that need to be recognized by these individuals, by recognizing all these people. And so we're going to make up for lost time. So on behalf of the whole school community, especially for the young men who are currently attending Belen, I want to thank you for being here tonight. We ask that you enjoy your meal, and the program will resume very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Enjoy your dinner. We will begin our program not long after you complete the dinner portion of the program. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to continue with our program. We hope you enjoyed or continue to enjoy your dinner. Before I ask Mr. Pete Montas and Father Garcia Tuñón to join me on stage for the presentation of the awards and the recognition of our honorees, I would like to publicly thank our advancement office, who was responsible for this wonderful event, this historic event this evening, for all their hard work, their effort, and their love for Belen. Thank you. So once again, I'm going to ask Father Garcia Tuñón to please join me on stage, as well as Mr. Pete Montadas, a proud alumnus from the class of 1976 and the chair of our Hall of Fame committee. Many here have had the distinct pleasure of having known several of the following individuals we are inducting into the Hall of Fame this evening. The following Jesuits are no longer with us. However, their legacy at Belen will live on forever. Please turn your attention to the screens at this time.
Luis Ripoll was born in 1918, graduated from El Colegio de Belen in 1936, and was ordained a priest of the Society of Jesus in 1951. 10 years later, on April 7, 1961, Father Ripoll was exiled in Miami. During that time, Father Ripoll met with Father Walsh at the diocese, specifically to explore the possibility of the Jesuits helping the boys who were emigrating from Cuba, and about reestablishing Belen in Miami. Belen Jesuit opened on September 18, 1961, and Father Ripoll served as the rector from 1961 to 1964. He also served as a spiritual counselor, a position he would have for over 2 decades, from 1965 to 1987. Loved and admired by students, the class of 1985 established a scholarship in his name. He also worked as a theology teacher and was the superior of the Jesuit community in Miami from 1971 to 1980. Due to illness, he left Belen in 1987, but his legacy is still felt today. Father Ripoll is remembered fondly by Belen alumni as always having a smile and an indomitable faith and profound spirituality with which he served many. He died in Miami on August 10, 1993. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class. Felipe Arroyo was born in Spain in 1920, entered the Society of Jesus in 1937, and was ordained into the priesthood in 1950. Father Arroyo worked as a teacher in the Colegio de Belen until he was exiled in 1961. His grit, tenacity, and unwavering faith led him and the other Jesuits to reestablish Belen in Miami. He served as both president and principal from 1972 to 1974, and again from 1978 to 1980. During his tenure, he led the charge to improve the level of educational services offered at the school, reworked the school's administrative structure, and expanded the Little Havana campus. It was his vision that led us to our current campus in West Miami-Dade. When Father Arroyo dreamt of Belen's future, he envisioned a center of learning that would educate students from all over the world. Originally conceived as the Belen Intercultural Center, the name of the school remained intact, and so did Father Arroyo's vision of becoming a beacon for the formation of young men. He died in the Dominican Republic on January 20, 1984. In 2019, the gardens located in the center of campus were named the Arroyo Quad in his memory. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class. José Izquierdo was born in Spain in 1922 and was ordained a priest in 1953. As a young Jesuit priest, he served at the Colegio de Belen in Havana and at the Colegio de Nuestra Señora de Dolores in Santiago de Cuba until 1961. He would go on to serve the Belen Jesuit community in Miami from 1965 to 1992 in various roles, but most notably as a disciplinarian and principal. Lovingly referred to as the Shadow by students because of the way in which he would suddenly appear out of thin air, he is remembered fondly by alumni as having been instrumental in the shaping of their character. Father Izquierdo was known to be stern yet gentle. He never raised his voice, and his presence commanded unending respect from all his students. He died on May 22, 1997. Soon after, the annual golf tournament, which raises funds for the Scholarship Fund, was named in his honor. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class. Juan Manuel Dorta Duque lived a long and faithful life, dedicated to the service of others. A graduate of the class of 1940 from El Colegio de Belen in Havana, Cuba, former professor and former director of the Belen Alumni Association of Jesuit schools from Cuba and Miami. Father Dorta Duque spent most of his life at his alma mater, where he was an inspiration to many. Through his leadership, our alumni were able to connect from wherever they were in the world, and their bond of brotherhood was strengthened. His trips around the country to unite alumni inspired the current alumni tours. As a Jesuit, he was a true representation of a man for others, and his vocation has inspired generations of laity and religious in the Ignatian spirit. Father Dorta Duque was more than just a priest. He was a pillar, a true leader that helped mold the Alumni Association into what it is today, and will be forever remembered as a legacy amongst alumni. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Representing Fathers Ripoll, Arroyo, Izquierdo, and Dortaduque is once again Father Alberto Garcia, who will accept their awards on their behalf. Father Alberto. Our next inductee left his mark at El Colegio de Belen on Cuba's storied history, and he also left his mark in the field of international law. Let's take a moment to learn about Don Antonio Sanchez de Bustamante y Sirven from the class of 1880.
Antonio Sanchez de Bustamante y Sirven was born on April 13, 1865, in Havana, Cuba. The son of a Belen alumnus, he followed in his father's footsteps and graduated from El Colegio de Belen in 1880. He became a lawyer and was a distinguished public servant and leader in the community. Among his many civic roles, he was a senator for the province of Pinar del Rio and Havana. He was an expert on international law and the author of the Bustamante Code. Antonio also served as the Cuban delegate to the Paris Peace Conference in 1919. which ended World War I. He also served as Cuba's representative at the World Court in The Hague. Among his other notable achievements, he was president of the Pan American Congress in 1928 and was nominated in 1949 for the Nobel Peace Prize. Throughout his distinguished career, he actively participated in major celebrations at Belen, often serving as a keynote speaker. He also founded the Asociación de Antiguos Alumnos del Colegio de Belen on January 31, 1923, and served as its first president. He died in Havana on August 24, 1951. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Accepting the honor on Don Antonio's behalf is Vice President of Herencia Cultural Cubana, Ariel Remos, for the class of 1976. We are honored to have our next inductee present here this evening. The longevity of his service to Belen is storied. Let's learn about the contributions of Mr. Jorge Bosch.
Jorge J. Bosch was born June 8, 1925 in La Habana, Cuba, and was a founding member of La Agrupación Católica Universitaria in Dolores. Jorge's loyalty to the Jesuit mission was ignited when he met his wife. He married Ivelisse Molina on September 2, 1950, and had two sons, Jose Ignacio and Jorge Alejandro. He spent 20 years as a master brewer, launching Bacardi's famous beer, Atway, and cornering the Cuban beer market. Upon his return to Miami in the early 1970s, his father, Bacardi president Jose Pepin Bosch, instructed him to meet the Jesuits in Miami. Jorge then helped them with the purchase of land to build a new campus in West Miami-Dade. Bosch's donation and subsequent service to the school are directly linked to the transformation the school underwent from a small school in Little Havana to the campus of today. Jorge served as the first chairman of the Belen Jesuit Board of Advisors from 1975 to 2012. For over 3 decades, he worked closely with the Jesuit fathers to raise funds not only for the construction of the school, but for its growth and financial stability. In his retirement, he remains an ardent supporter of Belen and the Ignatian traditions and values. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bosch to the stage. Many of us in this room had the pleasure of not just knowing our next inductee, but had the experience of being inspired by him. We will now watch a tribute to Father Jorge Sardina from the class of 1945.
Jorge Sardinia was born in Havana, Cuba on May 16, 1927. At age 6, his parents enrolled him at the Colegio de Belen in first grade. He graduated in 1945. He entered the Society of Jesus on September 8, 1947, and was ordained a priest on June 20, 1959. He served briefly in Miami from 1961 to 65. Father Sardinia worked in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico from 1965 to 1981, until returning to Belen Jesuit, where he served students for the rest of his life. He was an English and theology teacher, as well as a spiritual counselor for the middle school students, creating a solid foundation in their faith and devotion to God. A man totally devoted to God, Father Sardinia touched the hearts of his Jesuit brothers, faculty, staff, students, and Belen family members. His love for Belen Jesuit students extended up to his death. Just a few days before he passed away, a group of students went to visit him at the hospital. To them he said, "Believe me, I only wish I had more time to give you." Father Sardinia died in Miami on February 9, 2008. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Accepting on behalf of Father Sardinia is his sister, Mariana Lopez Oña. Our next inductee is a fixture at Belen. He led the Alumni Association for a number of years. Let's take this time to learn more about Mariano Lorete Mola.
Mariano Lorete de Mola was born July 7, 1939 in Camagüey, Cuba, and graduated from El Colegio de Belen in 1958. As a Belen student, he was an accomplished athlete in baseball, track and field, swimming, and basketball. He married Marta in 1961, and they had 4 children and 5 grandchildren, one of whom graduated from Belen Jesuit in 2011. He graduated as a veterinarian in 1961 and left Cuba the following year. In 1968, he began to work at Belen Jesuit in the Little Havana campus. 4 years, Mariano worked in various positions, including assistant principal for discipline, and served as the school's first athletic director in Miami. Mariano coached the basketball and baseball teams to conference, district, and regional successes. And in 2008, he was inducted into the Belen Sports Hall of Fame. In 2010, Mariano returned to Belen and devoted 7 years to promoting and growing the Alumni Association as its executive director. His dedication and contributions to Belen and the Alumni Association have been tremendous. Among them was his work in establishing the Wall of Martyrs and the revitalization of the Alumni magazine. His contributions as a student, athlete, coach, administrator, and alumnus are unequaled. Mariano retired in 2017. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
This next inductee's commitment and service to Belen inspired his family to always give back and to live out the Ignatian principles. Let's learn more about Jose Antonio Tony Garrido from the class of 1946.
Jose Antonio Garrido was born on August 5, 1928, in Guantanamo, Cuba. He graduated from El Colegio de Belen in 1946. The formation he received at Belen influenced his whole life, both personally and professionally. He married the love of his life, Zaidi, in 1953, and went on to have 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and 9 great-grandchildren. Continuing his Belenita legacy, his son Jose Garrido Jr. graduated from Belen in 1972, as did several of his grandsons. He was a successful businessman in Cuba until he was forced to leave in exile to Miami in 1960. In the late 1960s, during Belen's most dire hour of financial need, Tony Garrido mortgaged his business to save Belen. In 1984, Tony founded the grocery distribution company Walton & Post, which is presently considered the largest food exporter in the southeastern United States. The company is also in its 3rd generation of Garrido leadership. Despite his success, he never wavered in supporting his alma mater. He was generous both with his time and his treasure. In the 1970s, with the guidance of Father Baldor, he established the Garrido Foundation to provide scholarships to disadvantaged students. Until his death in 2021, Tony lived the Ignatian principles instilled in him as a young boy. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Sadly, Tony passed away last year, but we're honored to welcome his wife, Sadie, and his son, Junior Garrido, to the stage to receive his award. Everyone present knows our next inductee. He certainly left his mark on Belen, and we are blessed that he is here with us tonight to celebrate. Please join me as we hear the story of Father Marcelino Garcia.
Marcelino Garcia Perez was born in Sagua La Grande, Cuba, on January 16, 1939. Marcelino entered the Society of Jesus in Venezuela on September 9, 1961, and was ordained in Spain on October 24, 1970. During a period of extraordinary growth at Belen Jesuit, Father Marcelino served as president until 1992, then both president and principal until 2009. For 26 years, he helped to further cement Belen Jesuit's place in the South Florida community and became the longest-serving president in the history of Belen. During his tenure, the school saw increased enrollment, improved standardized exam scores, stabilized finances, expanded facilities, and the addition of 6th grade to the middle school. Known for his pastoral nature, humor, and kindness, Father Marcelino remains a much-loved member of the Belen family. His more than 37 years in Catholic education led him to being awarded the Lumen Christi Award by the Catholic Educators Guild of the Archdiocese of Miami in 2015. He is currently the director of the Ignatian Spirituality Center, Casa Manresa Retreat House. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Our next inductee had an impact on Belen, on the nation of Cuba, but thanks to his research, millions of lives were saved. Let's learn about the life of Dr. Carlos J. Finlay.
Carlos J. Finlay was born on December 3, 1833, in Camagüey, Cuba. He established a medical practice in Havana in 1865. During the 1870s, Dr. Finlay began to work at the Colegio de Belen and went on to serve as the school's resident physician for over 50 years. It wasn't until 1881 that he began to theorize that a mosquito was the transmitting agent for yellow fever. Although his research was disregarded by the medical community, it was at the Colegio de Belen, where his son attended, that Dr. Finlay found support for his work. Not only did the Jesuits at the school offer their retreat facility as a venue for his research, but 54 of them also served as volunteers for his yellow fever experiments. Dr. Finlay collaborated with members of the United States Army Yellow Fever Commission to create a vaccine and implement measures to reduce the incidence of mosquito-borne diseases. It was Dr. Finlay's discovery that led to the vaccine and is considered one of the most important medical discoveries of the 20th century. Dr. Finlay's work was nominated 7 times for the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine. He died in Havana on August 20th, 1915. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
We are honored to have with us here tonight his great-grandchildren, Dr. Martín Arostegui Finlay, Maria Esperanza Arostegui Finlay, Eduardo R. Finlay, and Jorge E. Finlay. Join me in welcoming them to the stage. His great-great-grandson, Roberto William Finlay, is also here with us this evening. Roberto, please join us on stage as well. Fernando Arang from the class of 1975 is our next inductee. His contributions to Belen as a student, parent, and alumnus have inspired others to not just serve Belen, but specifically serve the alumni board. Let's watch this tribute to Fernando.
Fernando S. Arang was born in Havana, Cuba on July 25, 1957. His family came to Miami from Cuba on the Freedom Flights when he was 4 years old. He was enrolled at Belen in the 7th grade and later, as a freshman, was a member of the first ever Belen varsity football team and was the first ever Belen student athlete to letter in football all 4 years of high school. Fernando was extremely active in clubs, was Belen's school student body president his senior year, and graduated from Belen Jesuit in 1975. Fernando achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest achievement or rank attainable by the Boy Scouts of America. He graduated as a lawyer from Georgetown University in 1981 and currently is a founding partner at Iran, Correa & Guarch, PA in Miami. Fernando has been married to Marianella for 42 years. They have 2 sons, 1 daughter, and have 3 grandsons. Both sons followed in their father's footsteps and graduated from Belen. His passion for service and good citizenship, which was instilled in him at Belen, has propelled Fernando to become a leader in the community and a role model for other men. In 2006, Fernando was chosen to be the first president of the Belen Alumni Association. He also served as the chairman of Belen Jesuit's Board of Advisors. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
At El Colegio de Belen, and from our humble beginnings in Little Havana to the present day, the name Roberto C. Goizueta from the class of 1949 has been a mainstay. This tribute details his contributions to our school.
Roberto C. Goizueta was born on November 18, 1931, in Havana, Cuba, and graduated from El Colegio de Belen in 1949. He then got his chemical engineering degree at Yale University in 1953, before beginning a lifelong career at the Coca-Cola Company. He married his high school sweetheart Olga in 1953, and they had 4 children. The youngest, Carlos Alberto, passed away from leukemia at a very young age. Roberto would often reflect that he had come to the United States with only 3 things: his education, his integrity, and a job with the Coca-Cola Company. He always held in high esteem his Jesuit education and his alma mater. The Goizueta family and Belen have been intertwined for nearly 7 decades. His generosity made our gymnasium possible and established the Goizueta Scholars Program at Belen. In 1992, the Goizueta Foundation was established to ensure that future generations would have access to quality education. He passed away at 65 years old in 1997, and as a tribute to his memory, the school named its gymnasium the Roberto C. Goizueta Athletic Center. In 2020, the building was remodeled to include a STEAM program and was renamed the Roberto C. Goizueta Innovation Center. Through the Goizueta Foundation, Roberto's commitment to Belen continues to help implement the vision for the school's future. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Representing the Goizueta family this evening is Mr. Goizueta's son, Mr. Javier Goizueta. Please join us on stage. Before this next inductee, a layperson had never served as principal of Belen Jesuit. Tony Abella was the very first.
Tony Abella was born on July 23, 1941, in Havana, Cuba. He attended El Colegio de Belen from first grade until his graduation in 1959. When Tony fled Cuba in 1961, he had to start over in Miami. Belen became his North Star. Tony not only taught biology at Belen from 1963 to 1970, but he also served as the school's first non-Jesuit principal from 1970 to 1973. He went on to a career as an insurance broker, but continued to support Belen through the years by serving as a member of the Board of Advisors, Board of the Ramon Guiterres Memorial Library, and on the Alumni Association Board of Directors. Tony's life was a path illuminated by love, resilience, faith, and joy. Tony and his wife Irma were married for 55 years. They had 2 children and 6 grandchildren. Tony's son, Tony Jr., graduated from Belen in 1985. His grandson, Tyler, graduated in 2019 as the 5th generation of Abeyas that are proud Belen alumni. Tony was known for the warmth of his generosity, the light of his faith, and the glow of his love up until his death on May 12, 2020. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Join me in offering a warm welcome to Tony's beloved wife, Irma, as she receives the award. Tony Jr. will also be joining us on stage. This next inductee not only leads a $20 billion company, he also makes time to give back to the alma mater which he loves. Let's learn more about Jose Sil.
Jose E. Sil was born July 6, 1969, in Miami and graduated from Belen Jesuit in 1987. As a Belen student, he was a leader, both on the football team as the quarterback and amongst his peers. As an alumnus, he is involved in networking and maintains a very close relationship with his classmates. His immigrant parents instilled a strong work ethic at a young age. He worked extremely hard to achieve success both in the classroom and in the boardroom. He married his wife Annie in 1994, and they have 2 children, Nicole and Jose Jr., who followed in his father's footsteps and graduated from Belen in 2019. Since 2019, he has served as the Chief Executive Officer at Restaurant Brands International and has set out to build the most loved restaurant brands in the world: Burger King, Tim Hortons, Popeyes, and Firehouse Subs. He continues to be shaped by the Ignatian traditions and values taught to him as a young man, and serves the South Florida community in a number of charitable organizations. Jose believes strongly in the formation of men for others, and whenever possible volunteers his time to speak to the students at Belen. He offers not just advice about business, but about the importance of faith and family. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Undoubtedly, our campus would look and be very different had our next inductee not left his mark. Let's take a moment to learn about John R. Guiteras from the class of 1948.
John Guiteras was born on January 24, 1930 in Havana, Cuba, and graduated from El Colegio de Belen in 1948. He established Lorraine Travel and began to grow his business. In 1954, he married Luisa in the Belen Chapel at Marianao and went on to have 6 children and 8 grandchildren. In 1960, they fled Cuba and relocated to Miami, where Jack reestablished his company and it continued to thrive. During the early 1970s, Jack worked tirelessly to bring the Ramon Guiteras Memorial Library to Belen Jesuit, along with the famed Cuban collection. Thanks to his efforts and the stipulations made by Gertrude Guiteras in her trust to establish a public library in her father's name, the Ramon Guiteras Memorial Library was established at Belen's Little Havana campus and later at our West Miami-Dade location. Jack was extremely committed to Belen Jesuit and served on the Board of Trustees for the library and the Executive Committee of the Belen Alumni Association in Miami. Through his leadership, the library collection and technology offerings grew significantly. He died in 2011, and the school remains grateful for his devotion and dedication to education and preserving Cuba's literature and cultural heritage. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Tonight is Mr. Guiteras' son, John Guiteras, from the class of 1976. Mrs. Guiteras, Mr. Guiteras' widow, is also here to accept the award. Dr. Jose Pepe Armas, from the class of 1977, has served our South Florida community for decades and never lost sight of the importance of a Jesuit education. Let's learn more about his contributions to Belen.
Jose Pepe Armas was born in Havana, Cuba in 1958. His family left the island in 1963 and settled in Miami. During Belen's early years in Miami, his family supported the school. Pepe started as a 7th grader in 1972 at the Little Havana campus and graduated in 1977. He was active in all aspects of school life. He was on the football, basketball, and cross-country teams and served on the student council. Father Izquierdo had a tremendous impact on him, and Pepe credits him as his spiritual leader. He was also close to Father Eddie Alvarez and participated in and supported the Belen Youth Mission trip for several years. Dr. Armas graduated with honors from Universidad Católica Madre Maestra Medical Doctorate. Dr. Armas met his wife, Dr. Ada Gonzalez Armas, while in medical school and got married in 1983. They have one daughter who graduated from Carrollton and 2 sons who graduated from Belen. He and his wife Ada have a long track record of generosity at Belen. Most recently, their significant pledge was earmarked for scholarships as part of the For the Greater Glory campaign. Their commitment to the school is a gesture of love and the importance it places on educating the whole person. Dr. Armas currently serves as chairman of MCCI and is the owner of several healthcare-related enterprises. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
During Belen's earliest years in Miami, its growth can be traced back to the work of Father Daniel Baldor from the class of 1919. Let's learn more about his story.
Daniel Baldor was born in Havana, Cuba on November 25, 1902, graduated from El Colegio de Belen in 1919, and was ordained a priest in 1931. He served his alma mater in Cuba for 8 years as the first native-born Cuban and alumnus to serve as rector. He then worked in Venezuela before returning to Belen, this time in Miami, to serve as president from 1967 to 1972. Father Baldor's arrival to the Little Havana campus signaled the beginning of a tenure in which Belen Jesuit grew and developed. His leadership helped to guide and expand the faculty, athletic programs, alumni association, as well as enhance the theology curriculum and formation programs. Among his many legacies was the establishment of the Ramon Gutierrez Memorial Library, the annual sports banquet, and ring ceremony. He was always very close to his family and was inspired by his mother's devotion to the church. Leaving South Florida in 1972, Father Baldor served the rest of his life in the Dominican Republic. He is posthumously inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Join me in welcoming Father Baldor's nephews and niece, Aurelio, Daniel, and Teresita, as well as his great-nephews, Daniel and Jose Baldor, to the stage. Our next inductee leads a global network and has broken barriers for Hispanics in media. He never forgot his roots and continues to give back to Belen. Let's learn about the story of Cesar Conde.
Cesar R. Conde was born on December 8, 1973 in New York City and grew up in Miami with his parents and 2 brothers. Cesar graduated from Belen Jesuit in 1991. He holds a BA with honors from Harvard University and an MBA from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. He has been a dynamic force in the world of news and has played a significant role in both Spanish and English mediums. Early in his career, he served as the White House Fellow for Secretary of State Colin Powell. In 2009, Conde was named President of Univision Networks, becoming the youngest president of a major U.S. television network. Despite his many professional accolades, he is always proud of his alma mater and its relentless commitment to excellence and service to others. In 2012, the Alumni Association inducted him into Belen's Sports Hall of Fame for tennis and cross country. In 2016, he was Belen's commencement speaker, and in 2019, he welcomed students to the new Telemundo headquarters in Miami. Most recently, in 2021, he came back to Belen to honor his former teacher, Pat Collins. Since May 2020, he has served as the chairman of the NBC Universal News Group. In this role, Conde oversees NBC News, MSNBC, and CNBC. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
Our final inductee this evening needs no introduction. He is a Belegend through and through and has impacted generations of Belen alumni. Let's take a moment to honor Father Pedro Cartaya.
Pedro Cartaya was born March 31st, 1936, and entered the formation process on October 9th, 1954, the same year he graduated from Belen in Cuba. He began teaching at Belen Jesuit in Miami in 1962, and on June 2nd, 1967, he was ordained for the Jesuit Order Antilles Province at the Cathedral of St. Mary in Miami. Father Cartaya has been a mainstay in the Belen community for 6 decades, having taught Spanish literature, philosophy, and astronomy. His passion for astronomy inspired the class of 1972 to build the Father Benito Viñez S.J. Observatory. Because of his dedication to astronomy, he has been able to continue a great Jesuit tradition of science and education through the observatory. Known for his cheeky jokes, unparalleled humor, kindness, and love of astronomy and fencing, Father Cartaya is a Belen legend through and through. Father Cartaya says, "I give everything I have to shape the faith and Christian values of our students, so that one day they will be good husbands, fathers, and professionals. It's my mission to shape both their minds and hearts. It's been such a rewarding experience to share my life with them." Currently, he serves as the director of Belen's Observatory and as spiritual counselor. He is inducted into the Belen Hall of Fame inaugural class.
I will now invite Father Garcia Tuñón back to the microphone for a very special announcement.
So it's been an incredible evening, and I want to thank you all again for joining us. This is Belen definitely at its best, reflected in all these individuals, all 20 of them who were inducted into the Hall of Fame this evening. Now, in addition to the Hall of Fame, tonight we are going to be doing something very special, which is reviving a tradition that was started by Father Dortaduque many years ago and then was paused, but tonight we'll start it up again by recognizing the alumnus of the year. So Father Dorta would choose an alumnus that not only that year in particular exemplified the principles of St. Ignatius of Loyola and the values of Belen, but also someone who is continuously giving back with time and treasure to the school. So I'm very excited because the person that we have chosen to be the alumnus of the year has not only been somebody who has been a very good friend of mine for many years, but I will tell you that the extraordinary achievements that the school in the last 5 years with its construction projects, be it the chapel, be it the athletic facility, the lights on the field, would not have been possible without his continuous help and support. And so it is a great honor and with great pleasure that we name this year's Alumnus of the Year, Mr. Does anybody know yet? You sure? Mr. Jose Gonzalez from the class of 1991.
I'm honored just to be here. Thank you. It's amazing when Tommy was saying we stand on the shoulders of giants. This definitely is an unbelievable institution. It's easy to give back to Belen when it also has given so much to myself and to many of you in this room. So I thank Father Willie, the administration, all my brothers from the various classes, and my family. Gracias, Mami. If I don't thank my mother for allowing me to give back, and I'm very humbled to receive this award. And obviously, I'm not going anywhere. I love Belen a lot, and I think it shows that everyone here in this room does as well. So thank you and good night.
It's been an incredible and historic night. We want to thank you all for being here and sharing this great passion that we have for Belen. We wish you all the very best, and thank you again for joining us. Please feel free to stay, to continue to connect with familiar faces, and we once again thank the Advancement Office for their wonderful work this evening and their leadership in the creation of this event. Thank you, good night, and go Wolverines.